Hey, this is Mark here at Garrett's Guitars in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and this video is about 2024. That is so last year, so it's a year-end summary, and then the next video is going to be predictions for 2025. So let's talk about 2024 in guitar retail, guitar playing, guitar gigging. I play shows as well, so some of this will have to do with what I see on the road or shows I go to see. Let's get into that. First of all, I got to kind of talk about the non-vintage used guitar apocalypse that kind of came true. That was my prediction halfway through last year, that I was just seeing a lot of just good average gear coming through, and and so there's been some price reductions, and on both sides, the online selling sites getting a little flooded, other guitar retail operations not taking in used gear temporarily. So all these things pointed to just too much used gear around, but it points to getting good deals on used gear, so that's good. And I talked about non-vintage because vintage guitars didn't really take a hit. The hit they've taken is about a 20% to 30% price reduction depending on the brand. And it's the secondary guitars and the tertiary guitars and and so if you have a Samick, if you have a high-end Samick, which actually I can't quite see it, but one of the nicer Samick Les Paul kind of things here for $199, $199 with a bag. It's a fine, set neck, made in Indonesia. I think it's Indonesia. Samick is a Korean company, but it could be Korean made. But anyways, just really fine guitar. Nothing wrong with it. $199. And things like that. It's just been the way that it's been going. So, changes that we see in this past year. Changes in amps. People are downsizing. So we have a lot of great big amps. So whereas a black plate Fender Super Reverb or Twin Reverb used to be a 2000 and something amp, it's now a maybe 2000 amp, maybe one. We have a great Super Reverb black plate over here for $17.99. It's been gone through. It's in great condition. People are getting rid of the big amps and buying small amps. They don't want to carry them around anymore. The modelers have gotten better and all that kind of thing. And that trend has been continuing. So there's been a little haircut in the big amp biz. The Tone Master bucks that a little because we have a Tone Master Twin. I'm looking at it, sorry. And comically light, really loud guitar amp. So bass amps, the Fender Rumble, it's the year of the Rumble last year. A lot of people. And so I play shows. I also worked at a theater. So I saw people coming in with Fender Rumbles, like touring musicians like Cats playing through Fender Rumbles. The same person who a couple years ago would have a very particular head and cabinet setup, they'd be like, okay, I got this 112-inch, but if I pair it with these two 10s, and then, and I get this Bartolini, or I don't know what am I trying to think of, some kind of boutique-y kind of head, and those people were just showing up with a real simple Fender Rumble or something like it, just one of these low-cost Class D amplifiers for bass that sound fine. They all have a DI out on the back that actually does what a DI should, which is send you the signal, the sound of the amp, not necessarily the sound of a bass that isn't plugged into an amp, which a lot of people you would put the direct box before the amp, and then you get this, like for a Fender bass, you get this clangy, cool sound you could blend in, but still, in live situations, they've been working out great. We haven't had any, the only repairs that have come back on those Fender Rumbles, now that we're in year 4 or something of them, of the new generation of Class D Rumble, is just a power cable connector failure or switch going bad, and that might not be the amp's fault, so they're pretty dependable. Speaking of live sound, the Grace pedal, the Felix, you might have seen those around. The preamp pedal this is part of like a prediction for the future as well. They're wicked common, especially with the touring musicians, and they're going to get even more common People are learning that they have to, with more and more PAs being digital by nature, they have to send their signal through something to cut transient peaks, to put a little compression, or at least a little saturation, or equalization. Just a raw signal out of the under the saddle pickup from a guitar does not cut it in live situations anymore, because down the road it's not getting put through all these circuits. It's going to a stage box and getting turned into digital and traveling as digital information, which does not degrade, but doesn't degrade in the good way too. Doesn't give you phase realignment and all those kind of things that can come through running things through transformers. So little preamps for acoustic instruments getting big. Ukuleles. The ukulele craze may be over. That might be my prediction for 2025. Ukulele sales are down. Our suppliers who have ukulele lines have mentioned that, yeah, we're swimming in ukuleles. They won't go away. But there was a craze, and I think everyone who wants a ukulele has, not everyone, but it's no longer a growth part of retail sales and guitar, and that's what we saw in Christmas time, especially because Christmas time is the gift ukulele season. But it's also been an instrument for guitarists to experiment with something that's very guitar-like, and a portable instrument. It's a great instrument, but we may have reached peak ukulele. So I've got little notes here. Used amps. Speaking of, I talked about the Fender. Talk about the Rumble being very popular. Well, that means the older Rumbles, no one wants them. Your older acoustic amps, the new acoustic amps, the Fishman Loudbox Mini, we sell a lot of in the Micro, and the regular Loudbox too. We're a Fishman dealer. We like Fishman, good dependable stuff. It's making the older versions of these amps irrelevant. The Fender has this little acoustic amp. Everyone's cool little acoustic amp. I think AER, is that the German company that makes an acoustic amp? That someone was just raving about the other day. Three letters. I think it was AER. I've seen them around. They're just not in the store here, which is good. That means they don't show up to be fixed. It's making the last generation of whatever it was a little obsolete. So if you have an acoustic amp, you have the old Fender Acoustasonic amp, or you have the old Fender, or you have the old, we had this amp in here. We could not give it away. It was a Trace Elliott acoustic amp. Anything of the last generation of what's hot now is just going to be really hard to move, and falling out of popularity rapidly. And we saw that this year. And we saw a decrease in any kinds of large amps, even the bass amps and the guitar amps. Everything's moving towards smaller, lighter, and because of Class D amplification, which I, as a hi-fi fan as well, I just resisted so much. I remember my uncle was an old hi-fi guy. He used to work for Genesis, and he worked for Epicure, in Massachusetts in the 70s and 80s. He was like, Class D's for dog food. Class D, that stuff's never going to sound good. Class D sounds really good now. And so I have, those little powered monitors and stuff like that, and powered speakers and Fender amps that use Class D. They sound fine. So that would be, so I'm going to leave it at that. That's my year wrap up for trends in the guitar world in 2024. And like I said, I'm going to make another video that's going to be predictions for 2025. I may be wearing the same shirt because I might just make it right now. But I'm going to post them slightly separately of each other. So thanks for watching. Check out all the videos here on YouTube or anywhere else. Instagram and Facebook, or whatever people are looking at. We'll try to be there. And thanks for watching.